Oh, hey guys! I was just waving off my metabolism as it rides off into the sunset over there. Yes, if you're like me, you may be finding that your metabolism isn't what it used to be, and maintaining a healthy weight is a lot harder. I wanted to share some of the tips that I do to maintain a healthy weight and see if it may help you guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share with you what I do to maintain a healthy weight. I am 48 years old and 5'6". Maybe I've shrunk slightly, but at my peak I was 5'6", and I weigh approximately 115 as of this morning. I'm a Gen Xer. I think there are so many of us out there, and we can all kind of relate to each other at the point that we're at right now, whether you're a man or a woman. Some of this information may focus toward my specific age and where I'm at in my life as a woman. But I do believe that anybody could find this information useful and helpful, and wanted to share it with you. I, within the last probably 2 years, have really started to notice that my metabolism isn't responding like it used to. I have had periods in my life where I did weigh a lot more than I should. I won't count my pregnancy, even though I did almost weigh 200 pounds at the point that I gave birth. So I did gain a lot of weight, and I actually weighed about the same as I do now when I got pregnant. But it's started changing, and I used to just be able to think I needed to lose weight and it would happen. But I started noticing that that wasn't happening. And so I reevaluated some lifestyle things and made some changes and adjustments. And these are what some of them were. Now, I do want to say before I get into this that I am in no way a health expert or a doctor or anything like that. I want to make that extremely clear. This is not health advice or any kind of dieting advice. It is merely my experience, and I'm sharing it with you, and you can do with the information what you would like. But of course, if you're thinking to make any kind of drastic changes in your diet or anything like that, always consult a professional or your doctor. So the first thing that I did was I adjusted my eating schedule. I did start doing intermittent fasting. For those of you that aren't familiar with that, there are different schedules for intermittent fasting. You can do, I'd have to look it up. I should have looked it up before I started talking about it. But if you're interested in it, look it up, and there's a lot of information on it, but it will give you the different, I want to say there might be like 4 different schedules. I do a 5-hour window of eating. So, and of course you can select it at the time that works best for you. I find myself, I get kind of low blood sugar, and the old hangry thing. So what worked most for me, and the schedule that I've been doing, is eating between 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. I can drink coffee up until a certain point to keep me going, and but when it starts getting close to that 11 a.m., I'm ready to eat. However, shutting it off at 4 p.m. for me has worked because I'm usually outside doing barn chores and getting the animals ready. And this time of year I get inside, it's already dark. So, yeah, there are times where I'm like, God, I really could use a little snack or something. But for the most part, I come in, I do my house chores and get ready for bed and go to bed. So I have a less harder time not eating at night than I do in the morning. So that time schedule's really worked out for me. Some things, now, again, this is not health advice, but what I've noticed with that is that it somewhat allows me to still kind of have my old eating habits by adapting it within that window. Because although I try to eat healthy, I'm conscious of what I'm eating and my protein and fiber intake. I pretty much eat whatever I want, though. And I mean, I'm not saying I eat donuts all day, but I'm not as cautious of not having fats or sugars, because honestly, when you can only eat within a 5 hour window time, you're only going to eat so much anyway. So it works for me. I kind of eat whatever I want and then shut it off and get back to, being in my fasting window. And I started seeing results probably within the first 3 months. And, honestly, until your body gets used to fasting, you will struggle a little bit. You're going to be, either starving and still hungry after you cut off your window or up until that window, like I am. But once you adapt to it, it's almost hard to go back. I will say, I think there were 1 or 2 days out of this last year that I've been doing it that I kind of fell off, not the wagon, but just kind of was in a situation where it was like, well, whatever. I felt like crap, and I really wished I wouldn't have done it. So your body does get used to it, and you feel really good on it. So the next thing that I did was I gave up alcohol, gave up drinking. That was not based on any kind of dependency issues, or anything like my cat's getting ready to jump up here. Wasn't based on any kind of dependency issues or anything like that. However, I will say, so the last thing I had to drink was on New Year's Day of this year. I had a mimosa, but I have really realized a lot of things on top of all the benefits that I feel from not drinking. I realized that a lot of times we may find ourselves in situations where we are drinking because it's just habit, or it feels like it's part of our lifestyle, or it's part of, an ongoing social environment that you're in. And so, I am very isolated. I don't go out. I'm a homebody. I don't care to be in bars drinking and socializing. Nothing against it, not judging, but it's just not my thing. So I'm not in that social setting to kind of feel like I need it. But it is fun to sit on the ranch when it's hot and you're out with the animals and having a few beers. Yeah. But I also realize again that it's something that you just start to adopt as part of what you do. So when you stop and you just kind of walk away from it, you kind of see it differently. I'm not saying I wouldn't still occasionally, maybe if I was out at some really fancy dinner, which I don't see happening, but, having a glass of wine or something, sure. But I really think I wouldn't, just because it's like, what's the point? I enjoy wine, I enjoy alcohol, but, you drink it for the purpose of it doing something to your body that when you're used to not needing it or having it in that way, you just don't really want it. So some of the other benefits that I have noticed as far as health-wise, not drinking, was the biggest one for me was inflammation. I was a hairdresser for 10 years. I know I've said that on a few videos, but I deal constantly with chronic pain in my hands, my wrist, and my arms. My fingers will go numb, or my grip's really weak and I can't even turn a lid off of a jar. So I struggle with that, and it's worse at other times than sometime, otherwise. But I also have I have a blown ACL, and I'm sure there's some sort of meniscus thing going on my left leg, my left knee. And so occasionally I will have to wear a brace. It kind of does this weird tweaky thing where I feel, and it gets swollen. But since I've stopped drinking, I haven't run into major issues like I was with it when I was drinking. The other thing that I've noticed as far as from a mental health standpoint is, alcohol is a depressant. And winter times, there's not a lot to do around here in Montana. I mean, it's cold. Right now, I think it's 24 degrees outside. And so, you have a tendency to be inside more. I don't know if you can see behind me here. We've had I haven't seen the mountains in, I think, 3 days now. So we've had it's gloomy, it's cold. And when you're sitting inside and you don't have much to do and you start drinking and it's a depressant, it could make you go to some pretty dark places. So that's been another thing that's been, I know, good for me, over here doing my thing, not to kind of set myself up for that. And an added bonus to not drinking is the cost. You save so much money not buying alcohol. And, I know you used to be able to go out and probably get a 6-pack of Bud Light or something. Oh, I shouldn't have said Bud Light. Coors Light, excuse me. Something cheap, but that's not even cheap anymore. And I never really was into cheaper beers. I don't know if that's the classy way to put it, but I love micro beers, and there's a couple around here that are extremely good breweries. But again, the cost is just so expensive. $10 for 6 beers, 6 cans of beer. I can't make sense of that in my budget. So that's been a added benefit. Another thing that I've been better about is talking about drinking. I'm not really a liquids person. Like, I don't like water. Find it fills me up really fast. It's just boring to drink. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not a huge water drinker. I can go for a 3-mile hike and not be dying of thirst. I'm just not one of those people. So, my sister, for a couple birthdays ago, she bought me, I should have showed it to you guys. It's just a tall insulated water bottle. It's a nice one. And it keeps me drinking. I make sure I drink at least one. And what I do with that, and this may not actually technically be considered fasting. I know she's told me it's not, but I do what I can. I have it's called, what's the packet called? Lemonade. They're all natural, and they're just a little flavor packet. No, I guess I don't need to give you the brand name on it, but and so I'll make sure I stir one of those in there, and am able to drink at least a whole one. So that's been helpful too. The other thing that I adjusted, and it naturally kind of came for me just because of the situation I found myself in with my rescue livestock guardian dogs, and then having livestock and a ranch to take care of, is I think there's so many added benefits to moving outside, going outside, not in a gym, not inside your house, but going outside. And yes, if it's cold or hot, deal with it, right? It just, there's a sense of discipline that I think your body benefits from. And by that, I mean going out and doing chores. Like when I go do barn chores, I'm stacking hay bales or moving up old hay. I'm moving my body constantly. I'm outside. I'm getting fresh air. There's endorphins that you get, I believe, from that. And so you're not getting that benefit in a gym. Now, I'm not saying, if you only have time to work out in a gym that you can't do this because I said you should be outside. But try to do something, I mean, if you have landscapers that come and rake up your leaves out in the yard, maybe have them take a couple weeks off, go out there and rake your own leaves. I promise you, it's a lot of work, but you're going to feel good about it. And there's something about putting your body in, lifting heavy things. I understand some of you may have health conditions that's not a great idea, but, adapt it to what you're able to do. Go out, lift something heavy, push something across the yard that you've been meaning to get out of the way, or, being in an awkward position to do something. It really does help, in my opinion. The other thing that I have found that really helps me is maintaining a routine. And specifically by that, I mean a morning and an evening. Because I think if we tried to do a daily routine for every hour throughout the day, you're not going to probably stick to that. But if you have something you do in the mornings and something you do in the evenings, say within a 2 to 3 hour window gap, you're more likely to adjust your day in between around that. And I think it just kind of, life can be chaotic, it could be unpredictable, and sometimes that routine may get interrupted. But it just kind of helps you stay in line. And adding a few little things into that routine that you look forward to. Like for me, this is so simple, but I'm not a morning person. I don't want to have conversations in the morning. I don't want disruption. I want quiet time. But I love looking forward to waking up and going to my coffee pot and pouring that first cup of coffee. And I set my, every night, that's part of my evening routine. I get my coffee maker ready. I have the timer on. And, given the power doesn't go out, I hear that coffee maker come on in the morning and smell it. And I look forward to it, even though I'm not a morning person. So do little things to look forward to, and it'll keep you kind of, on track. Another thing is keep some clothes that either used to fit you or you want to fit you. I think too many times, especially in a disposable society like we are, and everything is consume, 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 it's so easy to have that one shirt that you've kept, or maybe you bought and you didn't try on and it didn't fit, but you always thought, man, if I just, lost that 3 pounds, it would be perfect. Don't get rid of it. Keep it, because it's a reminder. It's a goal. It's something to look forward to. It's a kind of a litmus of where you're at. So hold on to that, and always remember how good it felt if you were able to achieve that goal to fit into it. And my last one is, some of you may not get this. I believe some of you will. Because I was a hairdresser, I was very aware of people that came in and wanted to chop their hair off up to here. You just get a sense of, okay, they're overcompensating for something they're not happy about in their life. So, and I could have been wrong, but it's a hard thing to explain, but it's a sixth sense you get as when you do hair and you're with clients for a really long time. So my advice to you would be, and for myself, I find myself starting to do it, is don't overcompensate for wanting to lose weight or struggling to lose your weight by going out and cutting your hair off, or, bleaching it bright blonde because you always wanted to, or going and buying new clothes or makeup, or don't decide it's a good time to start dating again or something like that. Stay focused on the goal if you're trying to lose weight, or not even really lose weight. Maybe you're trying to maintain it, but don't overcompensate it or replace it with other things that are instantly gratifying. And that in this society is easy to do. So keep it simple. And again, you save money, right? You're not going to go out and do retail therapy. So keep it simple and just stay focused. If you're finding that you're wanting to cut your hair, and now I'm not saying don't go get a trim. Please don't hear that. I definitely need a trim. One of these days, I'll have a video about me finally doing, I think it's been almost a year since I've had it cut. So, but I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying don't take care of yourself, as far as things that you need, a moisturizer or whatever. Just, what overcompensation is. So just stay focused, pull that hair back, put it in a ponytail or something, and just ignore it, because that is not your focus. Okay. Don't bring someone into your life to take the focus off of what you really want to do, because once you achieve that, it's going to be that much more rewarding when you do go get that haircut, or buy those clothes, or do the makeup, or go on a date. So that would be my advice. And those are things that I have focused on kind of these last couple years. And it's been nice. It's been amazing. And I might make some adjustments along the way, but as of right now, it's working for me, and I wanted to share it with you guys, and I hope it helps. Thanks for watching, you guys. Take care.